Hi, my name is Anya Chrysanthon, and I'm a host of the New Construction Marketing Podcast, and I am currently at the TecHome Builder Summit in National Harbor, Maryland, and I just got done listening to Tim Costello's session. Tim's presentation was all about friction points that our customers encounter during the new home buying process. And I thought it was fascinating, so I wanted to share some of his talking points with you. The biggest takeaway from his presentation was that the consumers believe in self-service, and we as new home builder industry need to embrace that idea. It's no secret that the consumer behavior has changed over the years. For example, 40% of all Americans have not stepped a foot inside a bank or credit union in the last 6 months. Gen Z babies are able to operate an iPad way before they're able to speak. Automobile industry is a great example of how they evolved. An average consumer spends 18 hours researching a car online before they ever step a foot inside the car dealership. In fact, people only go to a car dealership 1.1 times. And what do you think they're doing in that car dealership? They're certainly not shopping for a car, they're purchasing a car at that point. So the auto industry is a great example of how they were able to adjust to accommodate today's consumer behavior. We know that new home consumer, the peak time for their research online is actually at 1 a.m. on a Friday night. So they're using chatbots, that's the peak time for all chats, and they're asking questions about HOA, about the available homes, etc. That's when consumers want to shop at 1 o'clock in the morning. Are you available at 1 o'clock in the morning? BDX did a customer study where they literally gave them a technology to record the process of going through a new home purchase. And customers were recording themselves on video saying what they were feeling at every step of the way. BDX has identified 19 touch points where what they're calling is friction points. And they recorded the behaviors. It starts off very excited, optimistic when they're starting the process, and then the friction points begin. Some of the friction points are the following. 1, they are unable to visualize the final product. They can't get information on complete pricing. The information they received was inconsistent. They had a hard time knowing who to trust. And terminology was confusing. The thing about friction points is that when a customer encounters a friction point, they're 10% more likely to switch to another brand at that point. They're also 2 times more likely to attach themselves to an agent, and once they're working with an agent, that consumer is 4 times more likely to purchase a used home as opposed to a new construction. So that's why it's so important to reduce the number of friction points during the customer journey. The biggest thing that customers express dissatisfaction with is inability to see options and pricing online and to make those selections online. They were feeling frustrated by the fact that they had to go into a physical sales center in order to make their selections, and they were feeling anxiety about interacting with a salesperson and the fact that they're going to try to upsell them. In fact, most customers said that they didn't want to go into a model home because they did not want to interact with the salesperson. They just wanted to go into the model home in order to see that model because they couldn't see it online, but they weren't quite ready to interact with the salesperson. Now, what do you think is going to happen in the future? Do you think that this behavior is going to change and they're going to want to come in, or it's going to get worse? So we'll have to adjust as an industry and potentially think about what we can do to allow the customer to come into our model home, maybe after hours when the model home is closed, when the salesperson is not present, so they can tour that model home on their own. Consumers are ready for self-service, and an interesting thing about self-service is that it changes customer behavior. When they're given an option for self-service, they behave differently than they would when they're actually interacting with another human being. For example, in a pizza shop, consumers are likely to order foods that are higher in calories when they're ordering by themselves as opposed to through another human. And what BDX found is that when consumers are given a choice to select their own options online, they actually end up spending 30% more on those options than they would selecting them in a sales center with a representative. So it's important to embrace self-service, not only because it's convenient for the consumer and that's the way people want to do business, but also because your profit margin is going to increase by 30%. I mean, that's a no-brainer. Another interesting finding that they found was that not only self-service led to higher profit margin, but it also led to more sales. Because if customers were given an option to play around with options and they knew the pricing before the actual contract when they were just interacting with the brand online, they were much more likely to turn into paying customers after seeing that. So not only your option conversion is going to increase and profits will increase when you utilize self-service online, but also your sales are going to go up, and that's a win-win. So this got me thinking, what can you do as a salesperson to help you embrace this idea? Say, for example, you work for a builder who is not as technologically advanced and does not have those options. So I would recommend that, one, you make your pricing for selections transparent to your customers. If you don't have an option to make it interactive, then I would certainly make sure that you are sharing that information with your customers either electronically or giving it out to them so they know exactly which options are available to them and what the cost is going to look like. I would also do whatever I can to help my customers visualize available options. That means utilizing things like Zillow's 3D, which is a free feature. You just need to download their Premier Agent app, and you'll be able to go through your model and take video, and Zillow will turn that into an interactive 3D for you. So give it a shot. And what I would do is, before any of my homes settle, I would go through those homes and capture those features, the different combination of options, different layouts, to show my customers what is available. Because obviously you can only have so many different combinations and probably only one model home to show one particular combination. So I would capture as many of them as possible on video or 3D tours. Before a home settles, be sure to take photos, videos. Same thing goes for different combination of countertops, appliances, cabinets, so that your customers are able to visualize what they're getting. I would also think about incorporating Pinterest boards into your sales presentation. You can either get photos directly from your vendors and put them up on a Pinterest board that you can share with your customer to show them different cabinets that are available, different countertops that are available, and most importantly, give them an ability to actually visualize that on a picture when the combinations are put together. So in conclusion, the point is to try to reduce as many friction points during your customer journey as possible. I hope this was helpful, and I will continue to bring recap to you from future sessions as well. I'm Anya Chrysanthemum with New Construction Marketing Podcast, and talk to you soon. Bye.